Okie dokie, 10 good questions. So, this first one is um, debatable to some people, but I'm going to tell you anyways. What was the first major news story you remember from your childhood? The October crisis here in Canada in 1970, and that was in October, of course, of 1970. Where the FLQ did a little bit of terrorism, and there were tanks rolling in the street, and the army was deployed in the streets, and we were under martial law. Now, I was 4 years old, 4 years old, but I remember this. I was actually just a month under 4 years old, actually, because November would have turned four. But I do remember it. I do. I remember being very, very young and being in the house we were living in on Second Avenue, and I remember my parents being kind of scared about it. I remember my brother being upset about it and not understanding why. I just knew it was a very bad thing, and people were hurt and whatnot. You can look it up. A couple of politicians got murdered, basically. A movie you think everyone should watch at least once in their life? Wow. Um, you know, I'm going to have to say Cinema Paradiso. I think it's 1984. 1988. Cinema Paradiso is 1988. I think it's one of the best movies ever made. And I think it's an important movie to watch. So, throat catch. Can you name a crazy cult you have heard of? Does it still exist today? Now, I've heard of some pretty insane cults in my life, but I'm gonna have to go for the San Diego vacuum cleaner cult. They literally worshipped vacuums as vacuum cleaners as being sent directly from God. So I'm not even kidding. This was happening in the 1980s, and they don't exist. They don't exist anymore. Every other cult I've ever heard of was terribly dangerous and not fun like this one. And the not dangerous cults that I've heard of weren't actually crazy. They had some pretty good points to them. Anyways, not that I would want to join, but it was alluring when I was in my 20s. We'll just put it that way. Something you think is more important to a relationship than sex? About everything. Loyalty, romance, tenderness, understanding, giving, not just demanding your way, giving in now and then. Both sides have to do that. Just about every part of a strong and good relationship is more important than sex, if you ask me. It's an important part of a relationship for most of your life. Not anymore for me, really, but not that I'm in a relationship. But yeah, I think every other part of a relationship is more important. I think it's the least important. What is the first part of your body you wash when you shower or bath? My face. It's the first thing I wash. Then I go for my armpits, my arms and my armpits, and then the rest of my body, I go down, basically. Uh-huh. What is a place you really would like to visit but never got there? Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. Yeah. I've always wanted to go there, and I'll never get there. Somebody was going to take me, but they died. They died tragically, and it was a big shock, and it sucked because I really was a good friend. So, you know. Anywho, so I'm never going to get there. It's just not going to happen. In your serious opinion, what is the greatest danger to human existence? Greed. Okay, greed. Humanity has been controlled by the powerful, rich, powerful for as long as history can record. And we can't let that happen uncontrolled forever, because they have enough power in the media and influence to make people think things like climate change isn't real, even though there's a mountain of evidence. They have enough power to influence people to think that we should still be driving gas-powered cars when in the 70s we could have moved to electric and whatnot. Electric vehicles still use generated power, but that's besides the point. We could have had a lot of change between the 1970s and now, and the world would not be having wildfires burning down cities. So it's just that simple. We could have fixed this, and because of greed from the 1%, the world is in danger now. We're in danger. Climate change is happening. There are more wildfires than ever in my entire life. In history of Canada, there was more wildfires last year than ever. Obviously, in the United States, same thing. The storms that we're getting are stronger. They've had to make a new category for hurricanes because they got stronger than they thought they could. We've destroyed the world because 1% of the population wants more. There's not enough money for them. $1 trillion isn't enough. They want more, and fuck the world. So I can get my share. My share of power, my share of wealth. It's a big game of competition to them to have more than the others. And they're willing to exploit entire countries to do it. The only reason that there is a third world anymore is because of the rich elite and greed. The only reason we have homelessness is because the rich, powerful elite and greed. Some people want to be homeless, but most people don't. Believe it or not, they don't want to be. There's a lot of things, health problems even, that can be blamed on greed. Education should be free, but it's not. Higher education should be free, but it's not. We could be living in that Star Trek utopia where nobody wants for anything. We could. But we choose to allow a certain segment of the population, literally 1%, to own 90% of the wealth in the world. We allow it. So, as long as we have our little comforts, we're willing to see a couple of billion people starve in the dark. Literally. So, Okay, off my soapbox. What was your favorite band when you were a child? And are they still your favorite? My favorite band when I was a child had to be the Eagles. and they're not anymore. My favorite band since the 1980s has been, since 1984 to be specific, has been Rational Youth. So, what is a goal you have given up on, and do you regret it? I have given up on the goal of ever being financially stable because I'm never going to be. I can't be. I cannot save money. There is no possibility of me saving any money at all. Even if I could, the government doesn't let me have more than $1,500 saved up. They won't. They'll just cut my benefits to me accordingly if I have more than $1,500. So, yeah, it's an impossibility for me to save money. It's just economically unfeasible. Yeah, I am never going to have economic stability in my life. I'm always going to be right on the edge. That's how my life is always going to be. Would you be willing to reduce your lifespan by 10 years to become very wealthy? Yes. Yes, I would. If I could go back, say, 30 years and willingly give up 10 years of my life, which would mean I would probably be dead by now, to be extremely wealthy, I would do it. I would. There is no doubt that I would. Givers, have a good one. Keep smiling.